What is going on, YouTube? We are on the daily of daily content. It has not stopped, will not stop. But today I will be talking about my truck and why I bought it, and I went over it through one of my videos. But anyways, I'll get right into it. So I can remember I was always like when I in 2016 I was always hunting for like a truck that I could rebuild, remake, and I it was kind of like representing like building me up too. I guess you could say like if I could do this, it would make me a bigger, stronger, smarter person. So and it really did. It showed me like my dedication and everything. I didn't videotape any of it. It's all in the memory, but anyways, it was a 96 Ford Ranger that I got. And I mean, like I said, I was scouring through the internet, scouring. I was even driving around like all the lots in the town that I live in, and I was where I lived in Pensacola. I live in Pensacola, so I what's it called? I was driving around looking at these car lots, like more like the super used car lots, something that you wouldn't have like a very nice car in, like a brand new 2020 Jeep Wrangler or something like that. No, I didn't go to any of those kind of lots to look for one of these kind of used cars, and I didn't do any wholesale like auctions because I know they have those, which probably would have maybe benefited me. But anyways, so I was just going around and ended up going all the way out into the country in Milton, and there was a little car lot. There was several car lots out there, but this one was more of a like a run down, beat down, beater kind of car lot where I got my where that's where I got my truck. And it's funny how the story goes because they were like, "Oh yeah, we can do it for this much," and I was like, "Okay, like $800." I was like, "Okay, cool." So the next day I go withdraw said amount money, even though I probably grabbed out more. I drawed out said amount money, and they were like, "Okay, it'll be $1,000." I was like, "They didn't tell me that. They didn't tell me it was gonna be 700 or $1,000 after. Like, they didn't tell me that they didn't add the tax to it whenever they told me." I was like, "This is what I came up here for." So they ended up giving me the price for the $800 because they were like, "Oh, well, I'm sorry that happened to you." So I mean, and I'm pretty sure they bought that truck for maybe like 200, $300. Like nothing like extreme. So, but anyways, ended up buying the truck. And I bought it there, but I had to go get the trailer. Or no, I brought the trailer with me. I had to go get a like a full trailer because it wasn't like road legal. So I got one of those, and I'll tell you what, it wasn't a bitch to load on the truck because or on the trailer because we were able to get like a running start with it and go downhill. So I was like, okay. But I'll tell you what, and you had like three people. I'll tell you what though, trying to take it off was the fun part. So, and I don't even think my mom knows about this, but there's a so I'm driving home, got it home, and now I'm wanting to unload it so I can return this U-Haul trailer all the way in Gulf Breeze because they didn't have any in the area. So I've been running here, there, and there. It seems like, and so now I am trying to unload this thing by myself, and there is a downhill slope. I was like, I'm gonna try to push it off, open the door or have the door open, jump in the car, hit the brakes, and go from there. But ended up the tree that was already dead and already cut up actually stopped the blow or stopped the car from going anywhere else. So I was like, you know what? I guess a tree, a dead tree is a good stopping park and brake, I guess you could say. So yada yada. End up bringing the trailer back. Now I got the truck in the backyard because I had to tow it with my Jeep, and you gotta understand this wasn't a very big spot to throw in my backyard. I mean, it was like, what's it called? Um, I it was probably like 8 feet wide, and I only had like maybe 12 or 15 foot of concrete, maybe that like concrete slabs. So I was having to deal with maybe it was 20 foot, but anyways, I was having to like try to maneuver these two cars in there, trying to pull it with like a chain, and ended up managing getting it in the gate in the backyard. It was just a very small tight space for me to try to drag something in the sense. So I've dragged this car now in the backyard, and it's the next day, or let's just fast forward a month. So now I've been working on this truck for about like I get home from working like a 11-hour day, maybe even sometimes, or 12-hour days, maybe like 8-hour days occasionally. I don't know. I can't. I think I averaged about like 10 hours a day. Anyways, I come home from work, working outside all day long, and right now we are in like the November season, so it's getting cold. It's like in the 40s, or we were in the. I can't remember the exact date, guys. Maybe no, because yes, it was in November. It was November time, and so I mean, it was cold outside. I'm out here working with a jacket, getting on the ground. Fingers are frozen. It's nighttime, and I'm working out there probably on the truck for 4 hours before I go to bed, and then go back up and go to work. And ended up having to call in for some backup. So I had two guys come over to my house, and we ended up pulling this. Or one of the guys helped me pull the transmission, and helped me with like the slave master cylinder for the clutch. And the other guy helped me figure out that the clutch was the problem to where I knew how to fix it. And so after we got the clutch, everything installed, brake fluid, and the transmission all back in together, because you had to take the transmission out to get to the slave cylinder. So that was an experience. And so after we got all that installed back together, I'll tell you what, it ran so nice. It ran so nice. I was like I was confident to drive it to New Orleans and back. I was like that smooth of like shifting and everything like that. Like the motor felt good. It cranked up right away because I put a new battery in it. And so I was like, okay, we've got it fixed. Now I was like, all we got to fix now is the temperature gauge, because the temperature gauge was going down. So I left it running one day for 2 hours to see like what it was going to do, and it kind of moved like maybe like 2 centimeters. Maybe it got closer to or it got right above the line. And I was like, there's no way like it's that cold. So ended up, and this is like January time. This is 2017, like the beginning of 2017 now. Now I'm cranking up this car. I went inside for a little bit, and the next thing I know, my grandma comes in from Louisiana. She goes, Harper, your car's on fire. Your car's on fire. I'm like, what? I'm like, I can't believe what I'm hearing. And next thing I know, these flames are about like 15 feet up in the sky. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, I can't. People were like, you couldn't put it out with a water hose. No, I couldn't put it out with a water hose. I ain't got enough water for that. It was that bad. So I ended up having to call 911, and they brought out 3 big old fire trucks to our spot. It wasn't that bad. And then they were like, oh well, we gotta do an insurance claim report, and I was like, I don't got insurance on it. It wasn't even street legal. It was almost street legal. So I spent about like 3 months, about 4 hours a day, basically. It felt like, to get that thing going, and I'll tell you what, I learned a lot from it. You can look at it as because I had to spend money on tools. I had to spend money on like fluids and jacks, jack stands. I had to get like the right tools to do the project, and I was probably about like, let's just say 1,500 in the hole with this truck, and I brought it to the junkyard and just got like 150 $100 out of the scrap metal, even though I probably could have taken the time to take everything out. I just was like, project's done. It's not, I'm not gonna be pursuing this anymore, because, but it's not like I gave up. It's just like it just was an event where I didn't want my mother to get mad at me for having trash in the backyard type deal. And so but at least I was allowed to like at least work on it, and I look at it as a learning experience. So like that was my college, was $1,500. Like I got to tangibly, like, physically do something and learn from doing it. And I also learned I would say a moral lesson from it too. It's like, it's like, let's see. It's like what I said in my video on the 21st video, I believe. Uh I was able to I guess just learn a lesson. I don't know. It was a true project for sure, and I enjoyed doing it, and it's what I like wanted to do. That's what I thought was going to make me happy. It did make me happy because I was excited to have a running truck, and I'd be like, you know what, I could ride this, and the girls, my sisters, they could take the car, but it just never happened. I tried, but it just never happened. And thankfully, my grandma didn't have a heart attack that I was under the truck, because she thought I was under the truck when it was on fire. So she was very nervous. But like how I end every video, if you don't start now, it'll never get done. So by starting now, you make the first step to walking out that door. And there'll be several doors in your life, and don't let one of those doors knock you down. Knock it down. But much peace, much love. I'll see you tomorrow.